Hi, everyone. Kitty Foss here, your storytelling astrologer for your November 2022 report. And what a beginning of the month it's in. Of course, the end of October has set this up with all of the energy that happened across that last full week. Solar eclipses moving into Scorpio, both Venus and Mars entered Scorpio. Jupiter, which is retrograde, went back into visit Pisces, the lessons from 2010 to 2022, just a lot of energy. And then Mars retrograde on the 30th. So today is November 1st, and I'm here to talk to a little bit about what this month is. So here's a practice for this month. Well, let's start with that Mars retrograde. Mars normally is in a sign for about 5 to 6 weeks. It doesn't retrograde, but every 24 to 26 months. And it's a personal energy of our passions, our daily energy. Well, this particular Mars has been since August in Gemini and stays in Gemini until March of 2023. Highly unusual, but it's because of this retrograde. And in Gemini, Mars takes that passion and it really wants us to look at what we're going to experience, our curiosity. So, a word for this month is ask, answer, seek, knowledge. And that has to do with dealing with Mars retrograde. This Mars retrograde, in this kind of crazy energy that's the beginning of November, really helps us look at what we say, how we say it, and how we speak to ourselves, and what it is that we want for our lives. So, because I always talk about the energy and try to talk about ways to work with it, this is a great month to sit down, write yourself a letter about what you want your life to be, and set it aside. Read it again in March of 2023. Really working on taking to deal with Mars retrograde because it's not an easy thing. There's some kind of steps to take. We're going to learn. We're going to learn to pause, set our boundaries. We're going to choose our battles wisely. Kind of think of your cortisol levels as being monitored and realizing because there's a lot of things to be combative out there and a lot of interesting things going all over the world. Do I want to spend my energy on this? Do I want to spend my cortisol level worrying about this? Sometimes in the whirl of our head, our thoughts, um, spirit is working with us. Sometimes I have to let go of my thoughts so that I can let the energy come, the energy of quietly receiving the next steps. And this is what this Mars retrograde is going to help us look at. It's going to help us learn to accept that not everything is clear for us, but we can stop and pause and think about, is this what I want to be involved with? Is my judgments, my thought on this really what I know to be true? Or can I step back and kind of let that be about the other person? What's my part in this? And so that's the way we're going into this November, this energy of, wow, there are truths that are going to be coming forward, but on both sides of any issue. And it's going to be hard to figure out what it is. Clarity is coming, but it's really not coming till the end of the month and into December. So sitting back and saying, looking at my own judgment, my own daily practice in with this Gemini energy of communication. How do I want to be seen in this world? So we start the month out with this. It's a difficult month, especially in the beginning for fixed signs. Fixed signs are Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius, partially because they're, as Saturn came direct, our structures have been redone. Our vision of what our structures have been redone. Fixed energies, our boots on the ground, we get things done. And it's not clear what our next steps are. I'm a Scorpio. I have a Leo moon. So, in particular, I don't quite know what to do. And this is the time where I'm learning to be quiet and to listen and say, well, the next right thing I can do for me might not be for me to get mad in that grocery store line, or I'm doing a lot of bless you, change me when I find myself being activated. So that is part of what we're learning to do. And it's a daily practice. Venus herself is in Scorpio, and that's not a tremendously comfortable place for Venus because it's the opposite sign of Taurus, and Venus wants the beauty and the value and the stability. And in Scorpio, that's not what Scorpio does. Scorpio is about silent waters run deep. Scorpio is the water of the swamp. We don't volunteer to go swimming in the swamp. And so Venus is having a challenge to look for the beauty, look for the value, and how to stabilize. So our relationships are being tested. So again, this opportunity with Mars in retrograde allows us to use the voice we want to learn to use. Doesn't mean we're perfect, but boy, if we take the time to practice, how much farther we will be as the month goes along. In the 5th and the 6th of this month, we have Venus in the Scorpio in this flip-flop energy with the chaos of Uranus and Taurus. And so there's going to be a pull about the chaos and what's my place in this and how do I stabilize, and looking for beauty that happens right through the beginning of this month. We come into this uncomfortableness in the 7th because we have Venus in Scorpio squaring Saturn in Aquarius. And so we're trying to figure out what it is that we're going to be doing, and the restrictions feel like external blocks, and it feels like I'm not able to go forward right into that lunar eclipse on the 8th. And those restrictions are about us learning to practice our gratefulness and learning it's going to be a couple of what the heck is going on kinds of days. And if we can learn to step back, if we can learn to calm ourselves, we can get through that energy with power and skill, which is the upside of always of Scorpio and Scorpio's time. It's a fixed energy T-square. So don't know what to do, isn't clear where I'm going to head, don't know what the vision is, but if I can sit with it, accept it, and work on what I am grateful for, what I do want, and spend the time thinking about what it is I want to create. Each moment, the information will come to me to help me create through those 2 days, especially the 8th. That's kind of an earth-shattering, chaotic energy this lunar eclipse is going to be in Taurus, though Taurus is stabilizing Taurus. This is a destabilizing kind of energy because we have Uranus there, we have our North Node there. We are really looking for truths to be coming out for what our value. New information is going to be coming from both sides of many, many conflicts, and we won't really know what is true. We're sorting it out because some of that is literally being transformed in this Scorpio energy. It's a full moon and it's very earth about earth. So we probably will see some weather happening coming through there. We'll see some glitches in the matrix, in the Schumann resonance, all kinds of things. It is a chaotic energy. Be prepared for it, but that doesn't mean it needs to knock us over. It means we have tools now to work with this. The 7th through the 9th, we have this hidden emotional fixed energy that's come off this lunar eclipse. And so that particular week is kind of up and down and waves of emotional energy. This is Scorpio, still waters run deep. And then we come to the portal on the 11th. And the 11th is always a major portal, but this particular year really is the number 11, the master teacher. One falls away, one remains, and we're going to be doing a lot of sorting. There'll be a lot of people choosing to leave this earth in this particular period of time because it is chaotic. So what you say, because we're talking about Mars in this communication energy, is equally as important. So saying things like, my foot is killing me, no, or saying the world is becoming a horrible place. The world is transforming. I am going to be working in that period of time, and I urge you to look at my judgments and let them go. Do I really know it's getting worse? Well, that's me putting a judgment on it. I know it's changing. So be aware of what your words are saying. Take the fangs out of how you speak to yourself or how you speak to other people. Again, do I want to spend my cortisol levels on something that I have no control over? And then also on the 11th, we have a lot of energies being held at bay. They're either incongruent, inconjunct, in squares, but the two that are working together is that energy of this Cancer moon along with Mars, and also the energy of the Gemini moon earlier in the day is conjunct with Mars. So we really are using that private side of energy on that portal, that private, childlike, nurturing energy to align our will to take care of ourselves so that we can learn to take care of this world. So we have a couple days this month of very heavy aspects, very heavy negotiations, shall we say, up in the energies that exist. So once we get past the 11th, we've got some imposing restrictions that are happening right around the 11th. And then we have this beautiful opening up of faith, this beautiful trines that are all happening in the background with Scorpio and Pisces. The energy of the flow with the energy of taking the light from the darkness. From the 10th through the 15th, we have silver lining showing up, glimmers of what we want to be able to see. It's a beautiful set of energy, and it's getting ready for us to have both Venus, which is on the 16th, and then Mercury on the 17th, moving into Sagittarius, moving into truth and travel, where they're both very happy and able to work with this Pisces energy. And then following right behind on the 22nd is the Sun entering Sagittarius. So it is a time of ongoing, not having quite clarity, but feeling and receiving of information and messages from the higher power, from source through this time, getting us all ready for this wonderful Sagittarian energy. New moon in Sagittarius follows directly after we enter into Sagittarius on the 23rd. There's a spiritual uplifting that's happening mid-month. Like we're coming out of, even though the world has gone through this, oh my goodness, time, if we've been able to go, this too shall pass, that's what we'll be able to tap into. That's what we'll be able to feel. The 19th through that 24th is creatively travel time. It's general, it's the reels that you see on Facebook, those things that make you happy, little pieces of information very quickly coming through, very quickly. If you have a chance to write down, write your ideas, keep a pad of paper with you. Again, writing, because of this Mars in communication, this Gemini, becomes really important, both in recording what you don't want and what you want to see. Very creative time. And then on the 24th, we have Jupiter stationing direct. Now, Jupiter has gone back to visit Pisces, where it ended its 12-year cycle. And that information, as it comes direct, stations direct, we're going to go back over the end of that 12-year cycle of lessons so that we blend it. We bring it in right back when it heads back into Aries for our new start. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, the planet of more knowledge, being able, it is that wonderful ninth house energy that is directly connected to spirit and higher learning. It's a great time from the 24th on to be looking at different ways of learning, higher kinds of learning to step forward. Again, having conversations with yourself every single day. This is what I want out of my day. This is what I'm willing to let go of today. And when you have a stumbling block, write it down so you're aware for the next time. Why is this activating? What is my part in? So from the 26th to 28th, it's a great time for new projects following through. Spirit is working in conjunction with you, getting you ready to make that rocket to take off in the beginning of 2023. Right at the very end of the month, there's a little bit of conflict with our Mars energy and our communication, but part of that is us clarifying exactly what it is that we want as we step into December and the seasons of light. So that I will be back to talk specifically about this lunar eclipse, and to talk to you about maybe some strategies to work with it. But those are the energies. That's the story of the energy. The winds of November are blowing in, and you can enjoy the dancing of the leaves and feeling the sensation, or you can get yourself out of the wind. That is completely up to you. And that is the lesson of November. What is it I want in this beautiful communication opportunity we have with communicating with ourselves and with spirit by the end of the month? I'm Kitty Foss, your storytelling astrologer. I'll be back with some updates as the month goes on. I'm back in Florida, so life is a little bit more calm than it has been in September and October. Namaste, one and all.